What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're heading to the factory to work on the RX36. We've got a bunch of wee jobs we're going to do on it, but I thought hey, we may as well travel in style and take the newly finished 280ZX and you know, go for a wee cruise. It's starting to rain a little bit, but that doesn't dampen our spirits. Someone said that I moved the camera too fast last time so you couldn't get a good proper look at the Z, so I apologise for that. And here is a slower look at the Z without me moving so fast. Sometimes I get a bit too keen. My ADD gets the better of me, but she's looking pretty good. A far cry from the nugget that rolled into this driveway probably a couple of years ago now. Super cool. So anyway, let's jump in, take her for a drive, head to the factory. Woo, she runs like a dream. Freaking love this car. All these gauges, they work as well. Look at that. We've got oil pressure there. Love that. Oil temperature, obviously there's no temp at the moment because it just started the car. Volts. The clock. How good. Bluetooth head unit. Still need to make a surround here, but she's good. Anyway, let's go for a cruise. We have arrived! Before we get out, I just want to quickly show you guys my rad GoPro mount. I just squeezed it between the seats because I didn't have a mount for it, but it worked real well and I'm stoked on it, so whatever. And it also ran out of battery, I think, because I'm a rookie. But you gotta be versatile in the vlogging game, man. Hell yeah! Also, shout out to the peeps at Super Cheap Auto Sandown because they're rad, super good service, really friendly people, and I love friendly people, man. So, shout out to you guys. Let's go build, or keep building, a frickin' rotary BMW ute thing. Yay. Woo, alrighty. Time to get to work on this frickin' thing. And today we are installing a piece of the puzzle that I have been waiting for quite a while now, and that is this thing right here. So what this is a fuel filter and a fuel pressure regulator and a return line all in one. So here we have our 13B rotary engine and our E36 ute, right? These engines don't have a return line on the fuel rail. That means they are a returnless system. So the fuel literally just goes in and it's regulated usually in the RX8 fuel pump setup so that it comes out of the fuel pump at the exact PSI rating that the engine needs. And these engines need a constant 58 PSI. I think it is a 53, one of the two, I know. 53 or 58 PSI of fuel pressure at all times. At the moment, what we have is the E36 fuel pump pushing fuel straight to this engine via this fuel hose, unregulated, which means the maximum amount of fuel pressure that this fuel pump can push. And as you'd expect, that's way too much. So pretty much what it's doing is forcing the injectors to push more fuel than it kind of wants. And I only did that to get it running, to take it for its first drive and to be able to move it around the shop. But as you'd expect also, it fouls up the plugs. Currently it's only running I think on one rotor because the plugs are fouled. So this wee guy is actually an LS fuel filter for conversions when you put an LS in another car. And this fixes the whole problem. So it creates a return line, it also regulates the fuel to 53 PSI, and you know, it looks pretty cool as well. So we're gonna have that in the engine bay, and basically how it works is, I might get these around the wrong way, but a friend of mine, Nathan from Mac 10, shout out Nathan, sent me a diagram of how these are supposed to go. But the fuel goes in here, and then the return line goes back, and then it comes out of here into our engine. So very, very basic setup, but super essential to the running of our motor. So first things first, we'll quickly pull the spark plugs. One of the bonuses about having this engine in this engine bay, usually it's really hard in an RX-8 to pull the spark plugs, but here they're accessible right there. So we're going to pull the spark plugs, we're going to make sure that they're all nice and clean, we'll put them back in. I haven't got new spark plugs for this, mostly because they're like $180 or something for the set, and I just haven't gotten around to buying them. Plus I don't think I'll need them, because once I give this thing a freaking hell of a thrashing, it'll clear the current spark plugs up, so we'll be good. We'll pull these spark plugs out and we're going to clean them up quickly, and then we're going to go ahead with the install of this. Spark plugs are in, very happy with that. Don't want to test it because I don't want to foul the spark plugs up again, and it's real loud and I don't want to blow my eardrums. But we will test it after we put this magical thingamajiggy in. Look at that, she's installed. How good's that? Very, very simple as well to install. The BMW metal lines are like just down here, and then each one just goes straight up and then straight into the engine. So really simplifies everything, and I'm stoked on it. So, but now we need to see if it works. So first things first, we check that there's no leaks. So let's get that fuel pump running. Hear a leak? Do I? I do. Oops, shit. No good. So that's leaking. That's fun. Let's see why. Alright, so I've been mucking around with this thing for the past hour, just trying to figure out the problem. I got the regulator sealed. That wasn't an issue. I just didn't have the front end clipped in properly, and then I tried to start it, and it started for like a second and then die. And so basically, as you guys can see, I've gotten super jiggy here, and I've clamped these pliers on the return line to raise the fuel pressure a bit. And it'll start and run now. So it means that the engine isn't getting enough fuel pressure with this current setup. I don't know why, maybe I got a faulty one, but what I will do is I'm gonna get an aftermarket fuel pressure regulator, and I'll run it in the return line as well as this rig, so I can control the fuel pressure, and this rig still solves our return line problem, which is awesome. So that's good, but it does start and it does run now, which is sweet. Alrighty, so that was a little bit of a fail. I mean, kind of. It half worked. We got the return line sorted, so it's alright. Car runs, just doesn't run without a pair of pliers clamping the return line. So half win, let's call that. But same video, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna source, if I can, an adjustable fuel pressure regulator, and we'll come back, we'll chuck it in, we'll get it good, you know? Brat brat. Ew. Woo! Alrighty, alright guys, we are back with this little thing that we need called a fuel pressure regulator. What it does pretty much is just clamp the return line and build fuel pressure. And like I said before, that thing is supposed to build up 58 psi fuel pressure, which should be enough for this engine because that's all it needs constantly, but it seems not to be doing that. Could be a fuel pump issue, but we're going to put a fuel pressure regulator in anyway, which is rad because if we ever want to go boosted, this is going to help it lots anyway. So just going to install this right here, run our lines, and then see how the car runs. And then good news, tomorrow we are headed to Damon's factory to get an exhaust on this thing. So we finally get to hear this thing in all of its glory properly and not sounding like a freaking overloaded whippersnipper like it does now, which is nuts. So really pumped about that. So we're going to get this installed, and then it's going to be another day tomorrow morning when we come load up the car and take it to Damon's to get the exhaust put on. So let's get this in. Alrighty, so the fuel rig is now installed, as you can see, which is rad. And as you can also see, I'm wearing earmuffs because this thing is so freaking loud. So let's start her up and we'll adjust the fuel pressure. Yeah. All right, that worked brilliantly, as you can see by the big smile on my face. The fuel system is sorted. I'm very stoked. I think that this unit here, which I got off eBay, the fuel filter that's supposed to regulate the fuel, probably was maybe slightly faulty. That's what you get when you buy eBay stuff, I guess. So it wasn't getting the fuel pressure up to what we wanted, because as soon as I put the fuel pressure rig on and dialed it in, it's perfect. Idles nicely, obviously needs the exhaust on, but just super stoked with that. So that's just another thing that we can tick off our list. And nice all new fuel lines as well, which is always handy to have. So yeah, really happy with that. So next up tomorrow morning, we head out to Geelong to GMF Fab to get our new exhaust. I'll see you guys in the morning for a very exciting trip. Can't wait. See you in the morning. Yeah. What's up? It is the day, it is load up time. We are heading out to Damon's at GMF Fab to get our exhaust done. And as you can tell, I'm kind of yelling because I'm freaking excited. So we're gonna chuck this thing on the trailer outside, strap it down, and head on out. Man, I'm so stoked. Let's do this, guys. So we are on our way to Damon's workshop. We have gone through the ring of steel, which is like the police checkpoint that you have to go through to get out to Damon's workshop, because he's on the outskirts of Victoria, or Melbourne, Victoria, I don't know, however you say it. So we got through that all good, which means we officially are going to make it to Damon's workshop, which is very exciting. Got the car on the back, and just so pumped to get this exhaust done. And to see Damon as well, because I haven't seen him for ages, given the restrictions and stuff that have been in place. So very excited. As you heard, the car's running sweet. After we've put that fuel setup in, it's basically sorted it all out, and it's running nicely. Sounds a bit funny when it's doing its warm-up procedure, but once it hits that certain temperature, the idle kind of evens out down below, and sounds good. So yeah, I'm pumped, but I just can't wait to hear this thing once it's actually got a proper exhaust on it. But yeah, anyway, enjoy the drive to Damon's workshop, and I'll see you there. We're here. Look at that, she stayed on the trailer, so that's good. The boot's still there, so that's good. Happy with that. Damon! What's going on, my man? Yes, please. GMF Fab. Got a yellow S13 in here. Yeah, boy. GMF Fab manifold. Look at that. Custom made by you?
Yeah, I finished that up the other day.
How much are the stock position ones?
So you'll get full gasket set, studs, lots of stuff. They're $11.50.
$11.50. Amazing.
Same sort of style, like long runners, but just standard position. So
yeah.
Got your old one, take your old one off, put your new one on, done.
Yeah. Amazing, that's sick. Alright, so as you guys can see, we are here at Damon's workshop, GMF Fab. He does pretty much everything fabrication wise that you would ever want. So you've seen his skills previously on my other cars, and you're about to see his skills with the exhaust for the RX E36. And as you can see here, we have some fancy stuff. This is a racecraft muffler that they recommend for the rotaries, 2.5 inch straight through, so it should be perfect for what we're looking for. And obviously we have the V-band clamps and the bends and stuff that we need, and the courier just dropped off the last piece of the puzzle, which is a flex join. And Damon is basically gonna glue these together with metal glue, not plastic glue, don't do that. Don't JB weld your exhaust together. And make it all super nice. And we've decided, I think we're gonna do a lobster dump tip as well, because they look awesome. Flexi boy, love that. Yeah, let's get it up on the hoist and let's start working, because this thing is just annoyingly loud. Alright, so we've got the stock heaters off, as you can see here, and Damon is about to
cut it off here so we can weld a V-band flange on, so then we can connect the rest of the stainless exhaust to the standard header.
Amazing. So easy. Alrighty, so Damon literally did this so quickly that I didn't have time to actually film it. And this
It's hot.
is hot, but it goes onto here.
It's really weird, so I've just decided, went and grabbed a 3" to 2.5" just so we can go from this outer section. It's really weird, it seems like this inner pipe, which is 2.5" is in there, but then there's like these little, I don't know, someone that knows stuff about these rotary things will basically say, oh, that's for this reason, but we're going around the outside so we know that it's not going to leak.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's for emissions. It'll be an emissions thing.
Probably
It won't be a performance thing.
goes to there.
Yeah, which I've blocked off. So we're making it all fancy, which is, it's good fun. So cue the welding thing. Have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The nugget manifold now looks a little bit less nugget. That's sick. Oh, it's hot too. Oh, that's so good. Also, Damon is quickly fixing, well not fixing, but just doing something to the engine mount that I needed done because I cut the end off, but I cut a little too much off. And so it's only, they had a bolt through here, but it needs to
Fix that and then we're going to fix this. Is that for a reason?
It was for a reason, but then it didn't end up actually needing it.
Fix that and we'll fix that.
Damon's always fixing my messes,
You'll be
so.
the one that will be fixing it at Ritter.
Yes, true. But it's alright though, because you can drive it.
Every single event I've taken you to, and I've been laying under your car all that.
Yeah, but it's not like that anymore. Kind of. Manifold going back on, courtesy of Damon the Wizard. He's doing all the work and I'm just sitting here filming. Typical Damon, can't get it in the holes. There you go, son. Wow.
Nearly had to spit on it.
Damon has also fixed the engine mount and made sure that she's all minty and good to go, so champion. This car's getting a frickin' birthday. Alrighty team, everything is back in and back together, look at that! And it's all bolted in and done and it's good and I'm happy. So now it's going up because we are putting an exhaust on it to make all the right noises instead of all the wrong noises that it's making at the moment.
Alright, so now with a V-band that comes out of here, perfect.
That's so good. How look?
So that means when we do a turbo exhaust,
Yeah,
we can just run the dump off the turbo into this.
straight into that, eh?
It'll be
Yeah.
2.5", but we'll be fine for it.
2.5 inches is actually probably perfect, to be honest. Here is the gist of how it's gonna go. The beautiful thing about E36s is the frickin' exhaust, just like on my comp car, is pretty well straight right down to the back. So
You could make it complex. Like you could make it all tuck in here and cross over, but for something that Mike's gonna bash over ripple strips, doesn't matter.
nah, I just feel like doing it simple is the way to go. So
Trim that down a bit.
Yeah.
Get that lined up.
and that's it. And then straight down the back down here, and then we're running the muffler down the back here in this section, and then we're going to do a lobster dump tip, 3" lobster dump tip at the back. Nothing too complicated. It'll sound awesome. Stoked. Alrighty team, update time. So as you can see, we've progressed pretty well so far. The dude is a wizard. Damon's currently away at the shop getting some exhaust hangers, but here is where we're at. So beautiful, off the manifold, V-band, and then we've got a flex join down to a bend, and then a nice straight all the way down pipe down here, and then the muffler sits up the back here. So the muffler is over here, and that's getting a 2.5" to 3" wee bit welded onto it, and then we're doing a lobster dump tip when it will focus off here, and that's going to be awesome. So not far from turning the key now, really, which is super exciting. So I can't wait. You. Update time. Look at this exhaust. Woo! The world's simplest exhaust. Thank you to E36s and their ease of simplicity. Straight. Muffler. Tip.
I'm gonna cut this back a bit.
And then have the, oh, my favourite part of the whole thing. The lobster dump, which is mad. We'll cut it back a little bit and just have it meeting level with the bumper.
Perfect.
Oh, how good. Team, the exhaust is officially finished. The wizard has done his work. It looks freaking beautiful. Obviously it's got all the finger marks over it, but ignore those. How good is that? That lobster dump is freaking amazing. Boom, and then we go down the other end. Woo! Tidy, tidy work. This is not even like his best work either. This is just like, I told him to throw it together quickly because it's a drift car, but he still went ahead and did this amazing job, so shout out Damon. GMF Fab. And now we're gonna chuck it on the car. Look at that. Chuck the rubbers on. Always use the rubber.
Keep yourself.
Or don't. It's up to you. But this car doesn't deserve the quality of this work. That thing looks insane. And she's done. Time to bring it down and see what it sounds like. Woo! Sound test. Oh man, I'm so freaking stoked, dude. Looks good, man. There it is. The wee boy. Alright guys, it's time for first start. Here we go. That's good. Alrighty guys, so we are now back at my factory. As you can see, the car's outside on the trailer, and as you would have just seen in that wee clip, Damon did a bit of a, celebratory skid in the car while we were in Mexico, and a lot of oil started coming out the exhaust, which made me kind of panic a little bit, and he drove it straight onto the trailer after that. And so I went ahead and went online and just double checked to see what was wrong. I thought perhaps we did an apex seal or something like that, which would have been hugely distressing. But it looks like I may have overfilled the oil, in which case that's when he was doing the skids. It actually pushes through the way that rotaries work. I kind of don't understand, but somehow gets into the intake, and then that fouled up the plugs and obviously put a whole lot of oil out the exhaust. So that's what looks like it happened, but I don't feel good ending the video on that note, so I'm going to pull the car in and we're going to have a quick look and see what the go is and get this thing back up to 100%. But yeah, so I'll pull the car in. Alrighty, so I pulled the car in. Sorry, I forgot to film pulling the car in. I'm being super lazy today. But it blew some smoke out the rear and then it cleared itself out and now it's running perfectly again. So thing is legit too quiet now. It runs so well. And then when you give it some revs, she rowdies up a bit. So there we have it, the exhaust is done on the rotary. We didn't blow it up, so that's a bonus. Still runs awesome, it sounds absolutely phenomenal. Massive shout out to Damon at GMF Fab. Guys, he's just started that shop. Hit him up if you are in Melbourne and you need any kind of fab work done. His work is unbelievable, his prices are great as well. Roll cages, exhaust, intercooler piping, whatever you want. Literally, he'll do pretty much anything, so hit him up. Stoked, this thing is almost ready. We've got both the wheels on the front now. I kind of did that just before as well. So we're looking pretty darn good. Look at that. Awesome. So there's just a whole bunch of small things now to button up, and it's always the smallest things that kind of take the longest because you've got to nitpick and make sure that everything is all good before we take it out on the track. Also, all of the parts have arrived for our E36 giveaway car. So this build is happening next week. We're just going to get straight into it, and it's going to go from just full stock nugget spec out there to a very cool wee car that we are going to give away. So max speeding rods, shout out for those guys for coming on board, but we'll fit those and do all of that in the next video. So really excited for that build. So lots going on, but guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel, watching the videos. Make sure you hit that like button if you actually did like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I know a bunch of you watch these videos, but if you haven't subscribed, just hit that button, it really helps. And follow me on Instagram at @itsmikeblake for all the random shenanigans of my life, if you guys feel like you want to see it. Until next time guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace!